Welcome to the Expensive Coins History, our deep dive into one of the modern sleeper coins in American numismatics. Today, we're exploring the 1985 P. Jefferson nickel, a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance, yet in the right condition and with the right characteristics, could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In this video, we'll unpack the coin's origin, design, production details, value trajectory, known rarities, and how much it's truly worth in today's market, whether you're a collector, investor, or someone who just found this coin in pocket change. This guide will help you understand everything there is to know about the 1985 P. Jefferson nickel. Let's begin. The Jefferson nickel has been a cornerstone of United States coinage since its introduction in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the obverse of the coin features a left-facing profile of Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse displays Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home. By 1985, the Jefferson nickel had been in production for nearly 5 decades. That year, the Philadelphia Mint produced a substantial quantity of nickels, which included the 1985 P issue. The P Mint mark, located on the obverse of the coin just to the right of Jefferson's bust, identifies its place of origin. The 1980s were a transitional period for U.S. coinage. Technological improvements in die manufacturing, minting processes, and quality control were just beginning to show signs of progress, though inconsistencies in strike quality were still common. This would later play a major role in the rarity and desirability of certain varieties of the 1985 P. Jefferson nickel. The 1985 P. Jefferson nickel was struck at the Philadelphia Mint with a total mintage of approximately 647 million coins. This places it among the higher mintage years for Jefferson nickels. The coin itself is made of a composition that had been standard since the end of World War II, 75% copper and 25% nickel, resulting in a grayish metallic appearance that resists tarnishing and holds up well in circulation. It weighs exactly 5 grams and has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters. Although hundreds of millions were made, only a very small fraction were preserved in mint state condition. And among those, an even smaller subset exhibit the kind of strike precision and detail that commands attention in today's collector markets. The design on the 1985 P nickel is simple yet classic. The obverse shows Jefferson's bust facing left, with the words, "In God We Trust," to the left and "Liberty" and the date, along with the P mint mark, to the right. The reverse features a frontal view of Monticello with the words, "E pluribus unum," above, and "United States of America," and 5 cents below. One of the key visual elements that collectors look for on this coin is the clarity of the steps leading up to Monticello. Coins that display 5 or 6 full, uninterrupted steps are known as full steps examples. These are highly prized, especially in high mint state grades, as they demonstrate a strong, precise strike from a fresh die and careful minting. Unfortunately, most examples from 1985 exhibit a soft or incomplete strike, especially in the center of the reverse where the steps are located. As a result, full steps examples are rare and carry a significant premium. When it comes to valuing the 1985 P. Jefferson nickel, condition is everything. In circulated condition, these coins are typically only worth face value. However, coins that have been carefully preserved, stored, or discovered in rolls or mint sets often grade in the uncirculated range, referred to in the numismatic world as mint state, or MS. Mint state coins are graded on a scale from 60 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, flawless coin. In lower mint state grades, such as MS 60 to MS 63, the 1985 P nickel is modestly valuable, usually worth a few dollars. In MS 64 and MS 65, values increase but remain accessible for most collectors. Once a coin reaches MS 66 and above, it enters a more elite tier. These coins are significantly scarcer, as fewer examples exist with such pristine surfaces, sharp detail, and minimal contact marks. At this level, values can exceed $100 depending on eye appeal, luster, and toning. Now here's where it gets exciting. Coins that are certified as full steps in MS-66 or MS-67 condition are extremely rare. The population of these coins is limited, and collectors often compete fiercely for them at auction. These coins can bring prices in the high hundreds or even thousands of dollars, particularly those with exceptional strike quality, brilliant luster, or unique coloration. In fact, in recent years, top-graded 1985p full steps nickels in MS-67 have sold for several $1,000s. These sales have captured the attention of the numismatic world and have placed the 1985p among the most valuable modern nickels in existence. As mentioned earlier, the full steps designation is a crucial factor when evaluating the 1985p Jefferson nickel. This attribute refers specifically to the reverse side of the coin, where the steps of Monticello must be fully visible and uninterrupted by marks or wear. Collectors and grading services require 5 or 6 full steps for the designation, depending on the service's criteria. The vast majority of 1985p nickels were weakly struck, resulting in soft detail, particularly in the central areas of the coin. This was likely due to worn dies, poor die alignment, or insufficient pressure during the minting process. Because of this, full steps examples stand out dramatically. They represent a convergence of technical perfection and rarity. The difficulty in finding these coins makes them highly desirable and significantly more valuable than standard strikes. In the world of Jefferson nickels, full steps is not just a minor detail, it is the ultimate standard for excellence. Now let's talk about what the 1985p Jefferson nickel is worth in 2025. Circulated condition. Its value remains at 5 cents. There is no numismatic premium unless there is something unusual about the coin, such as a die error or off-center strike. In mint state grades without full steps, the value depends on the numerical grade. A coin in MS-63 might be worth $2 to $4. MS-64 coins can be worth $5 to $10. MS-65 nickels push that value into the $15 to $30 range. MS-66 examples without full steps typically range from $30 to well over $100 depending on the coin's eye appeal. The real value explosion comes in at the MS-66 full steps and MS-67 full steps levels. In these grades, auction prices can range from several $100s to over $4,000. The rarest and finest examples have reached prices exceeding $9,000. These coins are highly sought after by registry set collectors who aim to own the best of the best. The 1985p Jefferson nickel is a fascinating case study in modern numismatics. It teaches us that rarity is not always about mintage, but about condition, strike quality, and collector demand. While hundreds of millions of these coins were made, only a tiny fraction exist today in top uncirculated grades with the elusive full steps designation. If you happen to find a 1985p nickel and change, take a close look. Examine the steps of Monticello under magnification. Inspect the coin surfaces, look for any signs of wear, contact marks, or discoloration. If you believe the coin is in high grade, consider having it professionally graded. Even if it costs a little upfront, the long-term value can make it well worth the investment, and if you're a collector or investor, keep an eye on full steps examples coming to market. These coins are not just historical artifacts, they are a testament to precision, rarity, and the enduring fascination of coin collecting. The 2002 D. Jefferson nickel. At first glance, it may seem like just another 5-cent piece, but under the surface lies a story of mintage, design continuity, and a surprising collector market that continues to evolve in 2025. Whether you're a casual enthusiast, a budding collector, or a seasoned numismatist, this video will give you a complete breakdown of the 2002 D. Jefferson nickel's origins, specifications, rarity profile, and what makes certain examples worth a lot more than just 5 cents. Let's get started. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, this series prominently features the third President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, on the obverse, with a stylized rendition of his home, Monticello, on the reverse. By the year 2002, the Jefferson nickel had maintained its original design for over 6 decades, with only minor adjustments over time. The 2002 D issue represents one of the final standard design nickels before the major redesigns of the Westward Journey series, which began in 2004. The 2002 D Jefferson nickel was minted at the Denver Mint, which is denoted by the small d mint mark on the right side of Monticello on the reverse of the coin. The Denver Mint produced a high volume of these coins, making them extremely common in circulated condition. However, the story doesn't end with sheer numbers. Condition, strike quality, and errors play a major role in determining individual value. Let's break down the technical aspects of the 2002 D. Jefferson nickel. Denomination: 5 cents. Composition: 75% copper, 25% nickel. Diameter: 21.2 mm. Weight: 5 grams. Edge: plain. Designer: Felix Schlag. Obverse features: profile portrait of Thomas Jefferson. Reverse features: Monticello, Jefferson's famous estate mint mark, D for Denver, found to the right of Monticello. Though the coin's design appears simple, it's the execution of that design and any anomalies within it that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. In 2002, the Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels. This was not an unusual production figure for the time, and it ensured that these coins would flood into general circulation. Because of this vast mintage, most examples of the 2002 D. Jefferson nickel have endured extensive handling, resulting in scratches, discoloration, and general wear. Coins in circulated condition remain very easy to find even in pocket change today. However, uncirculated examples, especially those with sharp details, no blemishes, and a well-struck Monticello, are far more scarce and desirable. Even more so are those with a feature known as full steps. Now, let's talk about the term that has become legendary among Jefferson nickel collectors: full steps. Full steps refers to the number of visible, uninterrupted steps on the Monticello building on the reverse side of the coin. These steps are extremely difficult to strike clearly because of die wear, misalignment, or weak pressure during minting. In order for a coin to receive the full steps designation, it typically needs to show 5 or 6 clearly defined steps without interruption. Collectors prize these coins because they demonstrate a nearly flawless strike and preservation. The value of a 2002 D. Jefferson nickel in uncirculated condition jumps significantly if it carries the full steps designation. While a normal mint state coin might be worth a small premium, a full steps coin in high grade can fetch many multiples of its face value. Despite its common mintage, some 2002 D. Jefferson nickels are far from ordinary. Rare error varieties make up an important segment of high-value coins in this series. Some of the most valuable and collectible errors include die cap errors, where the coin sticks to the die and strikes multiple coins, creating a capped top appearance; cut errors, caused by a piece of the die breaking off, leaving a raised blob of metal on the finished coin. Off-center strikes, where the coin is struck outside of its proper alignment, creating a crescent-like shape and missing part of the design. Misaligned dies, where the obverse and reverse are not aligned, creating a shifted image. Double dies, though rarer in this date, any doubling in lettering or design elements adds significant collector interest. These errors are usually not visible in everyday change and often require close inspection, sometimes under magnification, to confirm. When found, they can transform a 5-cent coin into one worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. As of 2025, the 2002 D. Jefferson nickel remains common in circulated condition and is worth its face value of 5 cents. However, the market shows healthy activity for higher-grade examples, especially among collectors focused on completing sets of full steps nickels or certified error coins. Let's explore current value tiers. Circulated condition. Most examples remain worth 5 cents. There is no premium for heavily worn coins. Uncirculated condition, MS60, MS63. These coins generally sell for around $1 to $2, depending on eye appeal and luster. High mint state, MS64, MS66. These coins can sell anywhere from $5 to $25, especially if the coin is free from major contact marks. MS67 and higher. Scarce and sought after. These coins, particularly those with full steps designation, can command between $50 and several $100. MS67 full steps or higher. These are the stars of the 2002 D nickel series. Some examples have sold for over $1,000, especially when certified by reputable grading services. Major error coins, depending on the error type and visual impact, prices range from $50 to over $1,000, with some unique examples reaching even higher values at auction. It is important to note that market value is influenced by three main factors: grade, rarity, and demand. Coins with both exceptional strike and high eye appeal continue to perform well, even in a saturated market. If you're a collector looking to add the 2002 D. Jefferson nickel to your collection, here are some essential tips. Search bank rolls and pocket change. It's still possible to find uncirculated examples in the wild. Invest in a loupe or magnifying glass. Spotting full steps or minor errors often requires magnification. Learn to grade. Even slight differences in condition can translate to significant differences in value. Buy certified coins when investing. If you're spending serious money, purchase coins certified by major grading companies to avoid counterfeits or overgraded pieces. Stay updated on market trends. The numismatic market is dynamic. Values change as new varieties are discovered and as collector interest shifts. The 2002 D. Jefferson nickel is a coin that teaches us an important numismatic lesson. Even the most common coin can become incredibly valuable when preserved well or struck uniquely. Though minted in the hundreds of millions, only a fraction of 2002 D nickels remain in pristine condition. And even fewer carry the prized full steps designation or rare minting errors that elevate them into elite collector status. So the next time you come across a nickel in your change, don't toss it aside. Take a closer look. You just might be holding a hidden gem. The 1982 P. Jefferson nickel. You might think of nickels as ordinary pocket change, but the truth is, within these small metallic discs, there lies a world of untold history, overlooked rarity, and in some cases, serious market value. We'll explore the origins and historical context of the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel, why it's significant in the world of coin collecting, the subtle details that make certain examples highly valuable, how its worth has evolved over the decades, and what collectors are willing to pay for it in today's market. In the year 2025. Grab your magnifying glass and let's dive into this little coin with a big story. Let's begin with the broader context. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The design was created by artist Felix Schlag, featuring a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, and his Monticello estate on the reverse. By 1982, the Jefferson nickel had already been in circulation for over 4 decades. The United States Mint in Philadelphia, which had no mint mark prior to 1980, had only recently begun using the P mint mark on nickels starting in 1980. So, by 1982, the P on a Jefferson nickel was still a relatively new detail, marking it as part of a new era in minting practices. The Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of nickels that year, making the 1982 P far from rare in general circulation. However, as we'll discover, its true significance lies in quality, not quantity. The 1982 P. Jefferson nickel retains the classic design elements established in 1938. On the obverse, we see Thomas Jefferson's profile, along with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1982. Just to the right of the date, you'll find the capital letter P, the mint mark indicating it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The reverse features the front view of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, with the words E pluribus unum, Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. This coin is made of a cupronickel alloy, that is, 75% copper and 25% nickel, and weighs exactly 5 grams, with a diameter of 21.2 millimeters and a smooth edge. It's struck on a copper-nickel-clad planchet, the same composition used for nickel since 1946 after the wartime silver composition was discontinued. The early 1980s were a transitional period in U.S. coin production. Inflation was affecting coinage materials and mints were exploring ways to reduce costs and improve consistency. Coin quality across all denominations became increasingly variable during this period, especially at the Philadelphia Mint. As a result, the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel became notorious for having weak strikes, blurry design details, and inconsistent finish. This makes high-grade examples from that year significantly more difficult to find than you might expect, especially in mint state condition. Nowhere is this more important than in the coin's reverse, the Monticello steps. Collectors pay extremely close attention to how well the steps are struck. When all 5 or 6 steps are fully visible and separated, the coin is considered a full steps example, a designation that adds significant value and prestige. Here's where things get interesting. While the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel is not rare in terms of mintage numbers, it becomes much more scarce in high-grade mint state condition, and especially so when it comes to full-step specimens, due to weak die strikes and worn dies used at the time. Most 1982 P. nickels show blurred or incomplete steps on Monticello. This makes well-preserved, sharply struck examples incredibly desirable to collectors. Full steps Jefferson nickels from 1982 are not impossible to find, but they are far from common, especially in grades above MS65. This specific combination, high-grade and full steps designation, can propel what is otherwise a common 5-cent coin into the realm of high-value collectibles. The rarity of these top-tier examples means that competitive collectors will pay a premium to acquire them, often engaging in bidding wars during auctions. Let's talk grading. The Sheldon coin grading scale runs from 1 to 70, with mint state coins ranging from MS60 to MS70. The closer a coin is to MS70, the better its luster, strike, and preservation. A typical circulated 1982 P. Jefferson nickel, one you might find in your pocket or coin jar, will have very little collector value. These coins generally trade at face value. However, an uncirculated example, even without full steps, can be worth anywhere from $1 to $10 depending on eye appeal and condition. When you enter MS65 territory, values can reach $15 to $30. At MS66, you're looking at closer to $50 or more. Now, once a coin is verified by a professional grading service and receives the full steps designation, the game changes completely. An MS65 full steps 1982 P nickel can be worth over $100. MS66 full steps examples can command prices upwards of $500. And those very rare MS67 or higher full step specimens can sell for several $1,000s, depending on auction demand. In the most extreme cases, coins at the MS67 plus full steps level have achieved prices over $10,000 in major auctions, especially when accompanied by excellent strike, attractive luster, and problem-free surfaces. So what's the market like for the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel in 2025. In today's market, collector interest in Jefferson nickels is on the rise. More numismatists are recognizing the challenge of building a high-grade, full-step set, and registry competitions are fueling demand for the finest known examples. As of 2025, a top-graded MS67 full steps 1982 P nickel remains an elite piece, with only a handful known. These coins continue to achieve high auction results, especially when offered with certification from a respected grading authority like PCGS or NGC. Meanwhile, even mid-range mint state coins are seeing moderate price appreciation as casual collectors become more aware of the value potential hidden in modern coinage. If you've got raw, ungraded examples sitting in a roll or in storage, now may be the time to get them professionally evaluated. The lower end of the market, circulated examples and low MS grades without full steps, has remained relatively stable, with prices staying close to face value or slightly above. But the top of the market continues to see robust competition, and that trend shows no signs of slowing down. So how can you tell if your 1982 P nickel is worth more than 5 cents? Here are 5 things to look for. Luster and surface preservation. Does your coin show original mint luster without heavy nicks, scratches, or wear? Sharpness of strike. Examine the Monticello steps on the reverse. If you can count 5 or 6 clean, unbroken steps, you may have a full steps example. Lack of blemishes. Coins with clean fields, minimal contact marks, and no spotting are favored by grading services and collectors. Edge condition. Though the edge is smooth, look for consistent rim thickness and no damage. Certification potential. Consider submitting your coin for grading if it appears to be in mint condition and shows full steps. If you can check most or all of those boxes, your coin might be worth significantly more than face value. The 1982 P. Jefferson nickel is a perfect example of how modern coins can surprise even seasoned collectors. What appears at first to be an ordinary piece of change can, under the right circumstances, become a sought-after collectible worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. It's not just about rarity, it's about condition, detail, and knowing what to look for. Whether you're a beginning collector sorting through rolls or an advanced numismatist building a registry set, the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel offers a fascinating challenge and real potential value. So the next time you find a nickel in your pocket, take a closer look. You might just be holding a tiny treasure. The 2007 D. Jefferson nickel. While it may seem like just another 5-cent piece, the truth is that this coin carries with it a rich legacy, hidden gems for collectors, and in some cases, values far exceeding its face value, especially in pristine condition. So whether you're a beginner collector or a seasoned numismatist, stay with us as we explore the complete story of the 2007 Denver minted Jefferson nickel. From its design and production, to hidden rarities and current market values in 2025, this is everything you need to know. To understand the 2007 D. Jefferson nickel, we need to go back to the broader history of the Jefferson nickel itself. First introduced in 1938, the Jefferson nickel replaced the Buffalo nickel and became the new standard for 5-cent coins in the United States. For decades, the design remained largely unchanged, featuring Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his home, Monticello, on the reverse. However, in the early 2000s, the U.S. Mint began a special redesign initiative. From 2004 to 2005, the Westward Journey Nickel series was introduced to honor the bicentennial of the Lewis and Clark expedition. These years brought temporary reverse designs and updated portraits of Jefferson. But in 2006, the coin underwent another transformation. The Monticello reverse returned, but the obverse changed permanently to a forward-facing image of Thomas Jefferson. This newly styled Jefferson portrait was based on a Rembrandt Peale painting from the year 1800 and was intended to give Jefferson a more lifelike, humanized look. The design was created to modernize the coin while maintaining the classical symbolism of Jefferson's legacy. So, the 2007 Jefferson nickel was the second year in which this new portrait was used. It marked a period of transition in U.S. coinage, bridging classic imagery with modern design sensibilities. The Denver Mint, represented by the D Mint mark located just to the right of Jefferson's bust, struck over 500 million of these nickels in 2007. Specifically, the mintage was in the hundreds of millions, making this coin common in terms of overall availability. However, not all 2007 D nickels are created equal. Coins were minted for general circulation, for mint sets, and for special collector sets. Some coins were produced with what's known as a satin finish, exclusive to collector sets of that year. These satin finish nickels differ in texture, reflectivity, and overall eye appeal compared to standard business strikes. Additionally, strike quality can vary significantly, especially when it comes to the fine details of the coin's reverse point. One key aspect collectors focus on is the condition of the Monticello building depicted on the reverse side. Specifically, the steps at the base of the building. When all 5 or 6 steps are clearly defined and fully struck, the coin may be designated as having full steps, an attribute that significantly increases value. The obverse of the 2007 D Jefferson nickel features a forward-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, along with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," on the left and "Liberty," in Jefferson's own handwriting to the right, followed by the year 2007 and the D Mint mark. The reverse of the coin shows the neoclassical architecture of Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home. Above the building is the word "E pluribus unum," with Monticello labeled directly underneath the structure. Below that are the words 5 cents and United States of America. Though this reverse design had been used for decades, the reintroduction in 2006 brought with it sharper details and cleaner lines, especially when coins are well struck. It is these crisp, sharp strikes that collectors pay a premium for, particularly in high mint state grades. Like all coins, the value of a 2007 D Jefferson nickel depends heavily on its condition. Coins are graded on the 70-point Sheldon scale. A coin graded mint state 60 is considered uncirculated but may have significant marks or dull luster. As you move up the scale, MS65 coins show minimal imperfections, with full luster and strong eye appeal. At the highest levels, MS67, MS68, and MS69, these coins are near flawless and highly desirable. One of the most important factors when grading Jefferson nickels is the presence of the full steps designation. For a nickel to qualify as full steps, all the steps on Monticello must be sharply defined, without any breaks or weakness. A 2007 D nickel with full steps in mint state 66 or higher can be worth significantly more than a coin without the designation. In high grades, particularly with full steps, these coins can transition from pocket change to certified collectibles, commanding premium prices at auction. While the 2007 D nickel is not rare in general, coins with high-grade full steps or satin finish varieties are considered much harder to find, especially in pristine condition. Moreover, some collectors have reported minor die cracks, strike doubling, or other anomalies in select examples from this year, although no major error varieties have been officially catalogued as of now. Still, because of the sheer volume produced and the variation in strike quality, searching through rolls of 2007 D nickels can still yield attractive finds, especially for those with sharp eyes and a good loupe. Coins from mint sets, particularly those preserved carefully since 2007, are a good source for finding high-grade examples. These coins often appear with better luster, fewer contact marks, and overall sharper detail compared to coins that have circulated. Now, let's talk money. As of 2025, the average 2007 D Jefferson nickel in circulated condition is worth its face value, just 5 cents. However, The story changes drastically once you move into uncirculated and certified grades. In raw uncirculated condition, meaning a coin that hasn't been graded but is in mint state, it can sell for anywhere between 30 cents to $1 depending on the luster, color, and strike. Coins graded by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC at mint state 65 or higher can start to fetch between $20 and $70, with prices increasing dramatically for MS66, MS67, or MS68 coins. With the full steps designation. A 2007 D nickel graded MS67 with full steps can sell for over $100, depending on appeal, auction timing, and market demand. A top population coin, say MS68 with full steps and a population of under 50, can sell for $200 or more to the right collector. Meanwhile, satin finish examples from mint sets in pristine condition can also command premiums, especially if graded MS68 or higher. So, what should you be looking for? First, always check your pocket change and coin jars. The 2007 D nickel may still turn up in circulation, and while most will be worn, a lucky find could be an uncirculated piece. Second, examine every coin for the full steps on Monticello. Even a lightly circulated coin can show partial steps. If you find a coin with sharply struck full steps and minimal wear, consider having it graded. It could be worth much more than face value. Third, if you have original mint sets from 2007, take extra care when handling the nickels. These coins were often better struck and preserved. If they remain untouched, they could be worth grading. And finally, remember that coin values fluctuate with the market. Demand for modern coins with high grades and special designations continues to grow, as new collectors enter the hobby and seek accessible entry points. The 2007 D Jefferson nickel is not a rare coin by mintage numbers, but like so many modern pieces, its value lies in the details, the strike quality, condition, and presentation. For collectors who know what to look for, it remains a coin with both historical relevance and numismatic opportunity. The 2004 P Mint Mark Jefferson nickel. This is the 5-cent coin minted in Philadelphia during a special commemorative year. We're going to unpack its history, production details, rarity factors, market value, and what collectors should look out for in 2025. To fully appreciate this coin, it's important to understand its place in the broader context of U.S. coinage. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple in American currency since its introduction in 1938. Featuring Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, it replaced the older Buffalo nickel design. For more than 6 decades, the design remained largely unchanged, that is, until 2004. This year marked a significant milestone in the nickel's history as the U.S. Mint introduced the Westward Journey series to commemorate the bicentennial of the Louisiana Purchase and the legendary Lewis and Clark expedition. The 2004 Jefferson nickel was a part of this commemorative initiative and featured 2 distinct reverse designs. The first design, released earlier in the year, depicted the keelboat used by the Lewis and Clark expedition. Later in the year, a second reverse design was issued, commonly known as the piece metal nickel. This reverse features 2 hands joined in a handshake, symbolizing the peace treaty between the United States government and Native American tribes during the early 1800s. Alongside this handshake, the date 1803 commemorates the Louisiana Purchase itself. The 2004 piece metal nickel was minted at the Philadelphia facility, hence the P Mint mark on the coin. This was significant because, for many years, Philadelphia minted nickels did not carry a mint mark, but starting in 2004, the Philadelphia Mint began adding the P Mint mark to nickels and pennies, making these coins identifiable and collectible in their own right. Now, while the 2004 P piece metal nickel is widely circulated, its story is far more interesting when you start looking at its rarity and condition variations. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 360 million of these coins, making them abundant and easily found in pocket change and circulation. This high mintage means that, in general, these nickels are not rare and are typically worth only their face value when found in circulated condition. However, coin collectors are interested not just in how many were made but also in the condition and unique characteristics. Coins that have never been circulated, known as mint state or MS condition, can carry a premium. Mint state coins from 2004 P, especially those with the piece metal reverse, can sometimes be valued around a few dollars depending on the quality of the strike, luster, and eye appeal. As you move into higher mint state grades such as MS65 and above, the value increases, sometimes reaching into the tens or even hundreds of dollars. A key factor that can boost the value of a 2004 P Jefferson nickel is the presence of any errors or varieties. While the standard piece metal nickels are common, collectors are always on the lookout for coins with minting errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual toning. These errors are relatively rare and can significantly increase the coin's value in the market. For instance, a double die obverse variety from this year can be worth many times the standard coin, sometimes fetching prices in the hundreds or even more, especially if graded by a professional coin grading service. It's also worth mentioning that the Westward Journey series nickels, including the 2004 P piece metal, are popular among collectors because of their historical significance and unique designs. Even though they are common, the demand from collectors ensures that well-preserved specimens retain a consistent market interest. When evaluating any collectible coin, professional grading can be the difference between a few dollars and hundreds or thousands of dollars. Organizations such as PCGS and NGC provide reliable certification services that assess the coin's condition on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher grades reflecting better condition and fewer imperfections. For the 2004 P Jefferson nickel piece metal, a high grade like MS67 or above can be quite scarce, and these coins command premium prices among serious collectors. Now let's talk market trends. As of 2025, the 2004 P piece metal nickel's value has remained relatively stable for circulated examples at or near face value. However, uncirculated coins graded MS60 to MS64 typically range from a couple of dollars up to around $10 in the market. Higher grade coins and those with certified errors or exceptional eye appeal can sell for substantially more, sometimes hundreds or even over $1,000 depending on rarity and demand. The key takeaway for collectors or anyone who may have stumbled upon this nickel in their change is to check the coin carefully for condition and any unusual features. If you believe your coin may be in near-perfect condition or has any noticeable errors, it could be worth submitting it to a professional grading service to unlock its full potential value. The 2004 P Jefferson nickel with the piece metal reverse was part of a historic commemorative series celebrating the Louisiana Purchase and Lewis and Clark expedition. Over 360 million were minted, making it a common coin in general circulation. Circulated coins are usually worth face value, but uncirculated and high-grade coins carry a premium. Errors and varieties, while rare, can significantly boost value. Professional grading is crucial for unlocking the highest market values. As of 2025, well-preserved and certified specimens can be worth hundreds or more, whereas common circulated coins remain everyday pocket change. Thanks so much for joining this deep dive into the 2004 P Jefferson nickel. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, remember that even common coins can hide stories and surprises. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below with your thoughts or any questions. Happy collecting, and see you in the next video.